All right, getting to my next guest of the evening. And Lord, I hope I pronounce her last name correctly. I'm going to give it a shot. It is Hannah Schzde. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you
Oh,
got it
got
right.
it. Yes.
Good job. Thank you.
I will. I'm not editing that part out at all. I want people to see that I got it. And I know that last name could be very tricky, the pronunciation of it, but I'm glad I got it
Yeah,
right the first time. So, Hannah,
I'm.
welcome to Chillin', and thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me. And I was going to say part of the Hannah she's the experience is to learn to pronounce the last name.
Quite the experience. I'm glad I
Yeah,
passed with flying colors.
it's part of it. It's
Yeah,
part of
so
getting to know me, I think.
yes, yes. So, Hannah, so good to have you on. We definitely will get to talk about your latest release, Shine. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the interview. But first things first, how did you get into music? How did it start off for you?
How did it start off? Well, I didn't really know I wanted to be a musician till I was like 12 years old. But before I realized, I like my family has always been very musical. Even though both my parents are medical doctors, they both played instruments when they were younger and in college, and they were part of bands and choirs. And so even though they ended up studying music, they always even though they ended up being doctors, they always pushed us to be creative, to learn to play an instrument, to listen to all kinds of music, and just the love of music just created that desire of I want to create music as good as the music that I listen to, and just be able to express myself in that way. So that's how it started, and it was a realization that happened when I was about 12 years old, and from then on it was like a constant self discovery of like, okay, what steps do I need to take to get to where I want to get. Yeah. Also, my goals have changed a lot through the years.
Okay, so
Yeah.
definitely you have come a long way, obviously, and just seeing that passion that comes out, and is just something that you wanted to do, and you went for it, and things are looking up for you. So I've been listening to you. Shout out to Publicity Nation and Heart Songs, such fabulous people and fellow
Yeah.
musicians that you are a part of. So it's incredible. So as far as maybe some influences, those that have inspired you as an artist, who out there, whether it's mainstream or maybe someone locally, has inspired you as an artist?
Well, yeah, there's being very um, different influences in my music, which is why I think the reason why I call my music eclectic indie pop is because it has a little bit of all the things that I love from my musical background, which was classical music, and that's how I started learning to play instruments. It has you can see that a lot of my music has string arrangements and piano arrangements. But then also, um, well, with my Latin American culture, the Latin rhythms, I always try to sneak them in somehow. And I feel like usually putting those Latin rhythms creates a more danceable vibe that I like to put in my music. And that's thanks to listening to a lot of cumbia, a lot of salsa, a lot of bachata, like since I was really young, and dancing to it and going to like weddings in Mexico, and that's all you dance to. And but also mostly from my dad's side, I have a lot of rock influences, particularly 70s rock and progressive rock, like Pink Floyd, uh, a little bit of more like symphonic rock, like Electric Light Orchestra. Um, so yeah, like my influences go from one thing to another, and it's just a collection of things I listened to since I was really young, and things that I discovered more recently, like jazz. I discovered jazz more. I was more conscious about jazz when I went to college, and I learned a lot from it. A lot about improvisation and freedom, and even like more stylistic ways to play an instrument to make it sound a little more soulful than just scales or notes. More like finding the blue note and all those particular sounds that might make music a little more substantious.
Who doesn't
Yeah,
like Pink Floyd? Like whether you're
I know.
young or old, like you have to hear Pink Floyd at some point in your life. And if you haven't, you know, there's still time. Like I know from my understanding that maybe they're not performing anymore, or they're not, disbanded or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not, but Pink Floyd is Pink Floyd. They're legendary. Um,
Yeah,
from the '70s to 2000 and to the 2000s, like that's
yeah,
longevity, and that's a band that's just defines, togetherness and just making things work. Some bands don't even make it in a couple of years. They made it through decades. So that's
yeah,
just a testament of how they feel about each other and what love for music they have. And it worked. It worked very, very well. So I just had to put my Pink Floyd fandom out there now that you mentioned them. Uh, so
yeah.
so
I'm glad you
this
like them.
so Pink Floyd, they are awesome,
Yeah, they
absolutely
are
awesome.
awesome.
So let's get to your song, "Shine." That's your latest release. It came out back in April the 23rd of this year, a little over a month old.
Yeah.
So talk about putting this song together, and how did it feel? How do you feel about putting this song out as a single? How did it all got put together?
Oh, well, I feel really excited about this single because it's the first single that I put out that is a lot more positive, and it talks about something that hopefully will make people feel good rather than feel sad. And I wrote this song many years ago in a songwriting class, and I just saved it, and I thought sometime in the future I'll turn it into something. I didn't have any plans back then. And so I put out another single last year that was a little more sad. It talked about a breakup and about moving on and setting yourself free, and seeing how 2020 went last for everybody. I just felt the urge to put something out that was more positive and that would contribute to everybody's healing after all the events that happened last year, from political to the virus to personal events that happened to everybody. And when I wrote that song, I wrote it with the idea of we a lot of us wear articles of clothing or makeup or change the way we look, not only as a tool of empowerment, but also sometimes because there's something about us that we don't like, or we might think like we are not like pretty enough or good looking enough. And the idea of this song is that if you look around in nature, everything in it is perfectly crafted, everything in it is visually stunning, and this idea made me think like if everything that is outside ourselves in nature is beautiful and it was all created pretty much at the same time, why wouldn't all of us be beautiful as well? I feel like all of us, with all our flaws, we are all created the way we are created for a reason, and the things that we might consider flaws are actually the things that make us unique and special. And I just wanted to write that song also since you, there's been a lot of division in the world and in countries, and I wanted to deliver this message of acceptance and how much acceptance begins with oneself and then it moves on into accepting others as well.
It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song. Just well written, and just
Thank you.
uplifting, very positive, and we definitely need um, that type of music after what we've been through last year, for so many obvious reasons. And it's such a wonderful song, and I hope people will take the time and give it a listen. And it's available on all digital music platforms. You can even buy it on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
So go there and listen and go buy that as well. And I want to talk about the uh, the album cover of Shine. It's a picture of yourself and your lovely hair. A lot of
Thank you.
and talk about the meaning of that cover with the hair and the colors and everything. How did it all came about?
Well, when the time came to get the art cover ready, it was a little bit of like not short notice, but time sensitive. Like I had been focusing so hard on the song and producing it and mixing it and having it sound good that by the time it was ready to release, it was like, oh, I don't have a cover art yet. And usually, for my past songs, either I make the album art, I do some graphic, not professional, more like amateur or like hobby. I do some visual art, and for my previous song, I hired a friend from Mexico who helped me who designed my previous single. But this time, since it was so time sensitive, I had to rely on my own abilities, and um, I knew I wanted I knew this time I wanted to show my face, and I wanted to show it in the most natural way I could, like without a lot of makeup. And with my hair, the way it is, my hair has always been a thing to me because it's big, it's fluffy, it gets frizzy, there's flyaway hairs everywhere all the time. And since it was a song about acceptance, it took me a long time to accept my hair the way it is, um, because in Mexico they call it like not well behaved hair because it takes tons of gel to, like flatten it out and make it stay in one place. And many times in school, I would sometimes get picked on because my hair wouldn't stay in place while all the other students in the class, their hair always looked amazing except mine. So it was something that I was always very self conscious about. At some point, I chopped it and I was like, I don't want to deal with it. I shaved it. I did everything I could to it in the past. I dyed it blue. I had a mohawk at some point. And now that I learned to accept it, I just wanted to showcase my hair pretty much and be like, this is it. This is what it is. This is it. And I haven't cut it in a year since the pandemic began, and it grows very fast. And the person who helped me take the picture was actually my husband. I just told him like, this is it. This is the idea. I'm gonna lay down in the floor. I'm gonna extend my hair, and I want you to put all these flowers on it and take a picture from above. So yeah, he helped me take the picture and I edited it, and I'm really happy with it. I those flowers that I used were flowers that I bought a long time ago. It was a pack of flowers, and I've used them for tons of things for a lot of crafts. And I was happy to be able to use them again for this album cover.
What is very fascinating about this art cover is that you are definitely embracing who you are. And when people look at that, that's we got our own issues, like trying to figure out, man, should I do this? Should I do that? I mean, we all brought into this earth differently, and you know, we got flaws. We got all sorts of things that we don't know if we feel good about it or not. But seeing that, it's gonna, a lot of young girls, a lot of teenage girls, a lot of grown women gonna look at that and say, man, she looks well comfortable. She looks confident, like she's like a beacon of hope. To see, and that's gonna inspire a lot of women. Seeing that cover. It's a lovely photo, and with the flowers,
Thank
I
you.
mean, feels like you really put it off, because it definitely shows, that good heart inside you. Shows that you really going to shine and prosper. You definitely showing that you're on the right path, obviously. So go stream the song Shine. It is out. I actually played it a little bit earlier this evening, a little less than an hour ago. And I've heard it, and I played it a couple times, doing it in my spare time before, in the weeks leading up to this interview. So I like the
Nice.
song. So I definitely enjoy it.
Thank you.
Um, so so with this song already out and people got to listen to it, what is next for Hannah for the next few weeks or months? Are we expecting more music, maybe more songs, maybe an EP or album? What's next for Hannah as we approach the summer season?
Well, the summer season is coming really fast, and especially with I live in Boston, Massachusetts, and here a lot of the restrictions for the pandemic are being lifted. So there's a lot of opportunities for performing outdoors. So I'm going to start looking a lot more into that. But as far as releases, I still have a music video for Shine in the works, which was actually filmed in Tampa, Florida, uh, in back in February. So that's coming up. It's a music video for Shine, and I have an instrumental song that I composed for a dance project. That the dance project. It's a choreography that one of my friends made, and he asked me to make the music for it. So it's all original music, and I thought about releasing that instrumental music as well. And I'll be having another new single by August. Either it's going to be a single or an EP. I'm not sure. I have so many songs just waiting for me to finish them. Like they're almost like halfway, and it's more like like it needs more production. It needs to re-record some vocals. So I always have something in the back burner in the works while I'm finishing everything off for the current project. So yeah, there's possibility that it might be either a single or a whole EP, and I'm going to start, you know, to I'm working on another song in Spanish as well. So there's some cool things coming this year. Some things I am preparing mostly for after the music video and after the instrumental track, mostly for the end of the summer. That yes, in around August.
Awesome, awesome. So she's got more music on the way. But until then, make sure you keep streaming the song Shine. And For more info on Hannah, you can check out her website, Schzde.com, and that is spelled SCHZDE. That's HannahSchzde.com. So check out the music, check out the photos, check out upcoming shows she has in the works. They'll be all posted there, and of course she got some social media sites. From my understanding, just Instagram and Facebook. I don't think you have a Twitter at all, and if she did, if it's not on the website, it's not her. So we gotta watch out for the imposters out there. There's a lot of people try to
Oh.
be something that they're not. So just saying.
I think it might be me, but I haven't used it in years.
Okay.
I've always tried to get into Twitter, and I still don't get how it works. Like I feel more comfortable interacting on Facebook and Instagram. Twitter is like I'm still in the works of getting used to it. So I'm on Twitter, but I'm more active on other places.
Gotcha. Well, Hannah, it was great chatting with you, and thank you so much for being on the show this evening. I had a lot of fun, and continued success. More importantly, be safe out there, and I look forward to seeing what's next in store for you. And again, thanks for being on the show this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this conversation, and I hope to talk to you again in the future.
I definitely look forward to it, especially with August just a couple months away.
Yes.
So you have a good night, have a safe weekend, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.